we are already here in our part 8 of tutorial, and in part 7 I just showed you how to import our avatar, animated avatar from 3ds Max to Marvelous Designer. And the first time you see here when you open Marvelous Designer is already has a clothe objects and an existing avatar. Okay, so here in part 8, I'm going to show you how to create the clothe objects for our character. So let's first delete everything that we see here. Select that one and delete, as well as the avatar, and select here and delete avatars. And let's just import the FBX animated avatar that we have just made in our previous video. File, import, and FBX file, and let's click that one and open. And I just want to inform you that I will include this FBX avatar file format into your download link under Marvelous Designer folder, so that you can skip the process of importing the animated character from 3ds Max, and you can directly work here in Marvelous Designer and import this file into Marvelous Designer. Okay, so I'll just import it, open, and let's leave the animation and cache animation check, and it should be in centimeter, and press OK. All right, and after that, let's check if everything is moving. Okay, so let's shift into an animation mode and check if our character will make its move by clicking this play button. Okay, and it's confirmed that it has an animation information in it. So let's set it back to 0, go to start, and go back to simulation. Okay, so before we start, I want to show you how to navigate inside my Marvelous Designer. Okay, so to rotate your character, just hold on to your right mouse button and click and drag somewhere else into the empty space of this canvas. Okay, and to zoom in and zoom out, you just have to scroll onto your middle mouse button, scroll in and scroll out. Okay, to perform a pan mode, you just have to hold on, click to your middle mouse button. Okay, so that's easy, and it's the same thing here in a 2D view. You just have to scroll on your middle mouse button and hold on to your click on your middle mouse button. Okay, so we are now ready to create and do the first step in creating our first object, the inner clothe of the character. Okay, let's head on creating the first pattern of our clothe. So here I'm just gonna use what's this polygon tool, and let's just click that. And to use that, you just have to single click each time. Okay, single click, single click, single click. And if you want to make a straight line, just hold shift on your keyboard and establish your point somewhere over here. And I just want to establish here and here, and let's just click and point to the other end points of this line. Okay, click that one, and that will establish the first pattern of our clothes. So I'm gonna use these edit patterns to adjust, to make a bit of adjustment. Okay, and I'm just gonna clone this one and mirror at the other side. So with this tool being used, edit pattern, let's click into this pattern and Control C or copy. Let's control in your keyboard, press the control and letter C, and right click in here and paste mirror. and don't just click yet. Okay, don't click just yet, and hold your shift on your keyboard, and that makes the second pattern align to the first pattern. Okay, and click in this area. Okay, and you will see that the second pattern are place it over here, and let's just rearrange this in a this way. I think this way. Okay, right, right. And another one is we already just copied this one, and we can just right click again in here, and instead of paste mirror, just paste over somewhere else, just here, and hold shift on your keyboard and click. Okay, and I'm gonna align this at the back of our character. So let's rotate this that one. Okay, move, right. Okay, and so we are still in a edit pattern mode and deselect everything, and let's try to select this edge and right click and unfold. Okay, and that makes the object mirror into the other side. And let's delete this point, delete and delete. And now let's rearrange this pattern, align to the back of our character. And okay, let me set aside this for a while and put it over the silhouette of our character uh, to uh, to make some adjustment. Okay, so we are still in edit pattern, and we gonna select these points and hold shift on our keyboard while dragging those points. Hold shift. Okay, okay, uh, and then move it over here until it fits enough to the silhouette. Okay, right. Okay, so I think we're done creating this first three pattern of our character, and now we are ready to stitch these edges into one another. So to do that, let's use this uh, I forgot something. Okay, so let's just establish some curves edges into this one using this tool. I mean this one, edit curve point, and just point at the center and click and drag downward, and as well as in here, just click, and you may see uh, a measurement of at the side of the mouse cursor, adjusting as we move our mouse cursor. So I give it around 83, and at the other side as well, 83. Okay, so it doesn't have to be exact measurement as this one. Okay, so okay, 183 and 183. Okay, right. Now we are now ready to stitch the edges using this segment sewing. Okay, let's click that, and to use that, you just have to click over the edges here from here. Okay, and it will create a line object when you see here in a 3D view, and we did it properly. Okay, so as you can see, and another example, let's create another seam edge. Okay, okay, so I did it intentionally to teach you something that you can do if you ever encounter this trouble. So if you encounter this cross line, uh, this cross direction of these lines. Okay, just go on to edit sewing and select that sewing here in 2D view. and right click and reverse swing. Okay, and that will fix the flow of these line objects. Okay, so let's stitch the other remaining edges. All right, so after establishing those seams, we can now simulate, press simulate over here, or just press your space tab on your keyboard, shortcut keys for the simulate button. Okay, and press the space tab again to stop the simulation and undo everything. Control Z. And before simulating our patterns, let's just adjust this pattern. Okay, using this one and select this one, and it will instantly select the pattern in our 2D view. And let's move it up a little more and closer to the character, of course. Okay, so that if we simulate this cloud pattern, it won't get fall into the ground. Okay, and space tab again. All right, and we did a great job, I think. Okay, and you can perform a live drag on it. Okay, so as long as you are in here in a move tool, okay, you can perform a live drag. And it's still under simulating mode when you are seeing this in a orange color. Okay, so I'm gonna pin this cloth into the skin of our character. So to do that, first I just want to deactivate or freeze this pattern so that we can focus on editing this other pattern. Okay, with this pattern selected, right click and freeze. Okay, and now we can now pin this uh, to the skin of our character using this okay, so I'm gonna use this tag on avatar. And what we should do is just click on the cloud and click somewhere else where you want to tag the cloud. So I'm just gonna click in here, and then after tagging those clothes into the skin, let's just simulate again once more. Simulate, and that will pull the uh, our clothes into this part of our character. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same thing into the other cloth pattern. And before doing that, I'm just gonna live drag this one so that we can have a nice okay, we can make it the cloth more decent. Okay, right, and then after that I'm going to freeze this pattern. Okay, so that with that being selected, okay, freeze, and let's select the other one. Okay, and right click and unfreeze. And instead of using tag on avatar, we're gonna use tag instead, and it will tag the uh, object from cloud to cloud. So I'm gonna tap here and here. Okay, and then just simulate again, space tab. Okay, and space tab, and of course let's select the other pattern and unfreeze this, and let's simulate it once more. All right. Okay, okay, so if you find it that there is something you can do more better than this, you can select this edit busting and just delete that pin thing that is currently tagged on the object. Okay, so before doing that, let's unsimulate, right click and delete those pin. Okay, and then repin it again using this tag. Okay, so I'm gonna adjust it higher than this one, and simulate. All right, and then I'm gonna drag this one. Okay, and give it a nice and decent look, and avoid exposing too much skin of our character first. We're gonna do that later on. Okay, and arrange everything. Okay, and again once more, here from here, and simulate. Right. Okay, we are now ready to put some uh, belt in this area. So let's set aside this pattern first, here over here. Okay, okay, so let's create another pattern using another new tool here, rectangular tool. Okay, and let's make a drag over the silhouette around this dimension. Okay, and release, and I'm gonna clone this pattern. Click that one, copy, Control C on your keyboard, and right click and paste. Right, and paste it under this pattern. Okay, and rearrange it at the back of our character. Okay, rotate. All right. Okay, okay. Now we can now stitch these edges using what's this? Okay, it doesn't matter. Yun, sewing, segment sewing. Okay, okay, that's it. And simulate. All right, and then dissimulate. Right, and then uh, what we're gonna do is we have to perform some sort of technique to achieve and make it fit to the to this area. Okay, so let me think first, and I'm gonna post this video. All right, I got some ideas how we can resimulate this one. So after you have done the first simulation for this pattern, you can just select this here in here, and it will instantly select the pattern here in 3D view, and manually we can move it somewhere else above, and make sure that the simulate is inactive before doing before moving those pattern. Okay, and then after doing that, we can now adjust the sizes of this pattern. So while we are still in edit pattern, just select those points, and we can move it to the right side a little more. Okay, just hold shift on your keyboard so that we can move it straight ahead to the right side. Okay, until it fits to the this area. Okay, and simulate, stop simulate. Okay, and simulate again, and perform a live drag in here. Right, stop simulate, and again let's repeat the process until we are satisfied with the result. Okay, select, move it up, and make a further adjustment to the measurement of our pattern. Right, and simulate, stop. All right, I think we are doing good, and we'll just keep on editing this until we achieve the desired result that we want to it to be. Okay, so again, uh, simulate. All right, and stop, and let's undo that one. Okay, and simulate stop, and then simulate and quickly drag that pattern to this direction. Okay. All right, I think we're still doing good with this thing, and just a little bit more, once more. Okay, and I hope this will get well. All right, and once more. Okay, all right, and once more. So let's see how far we can get these things done. All right, so that's it, and we are done creating the inner part of our character. Okay, so so let me think first if uh, what we are gonna do next. Okay, so I forgot to save this one. I'll just have to save this first so that I won't lose the editings that we have made. File, save as, and save garment. And in Marvelous Designer, we can save it as a score cloud modeling, and save. Okay, and that file I'm going to include that in our download link so that you can see the final result of my work. Okay, so I'm gonna post the video again and let me think what's the next step that we should do. Okay, so I decided to give this pattern some kind of thickness in it, and to do that, let's freeze the other cloud pattern. So let's unsimulate that first. Right click and freeze. Okay, and so that it won't distract our editing here in this pattern. Okay, so with that being selected, uh, select the first one, and then we can duplicate that one. Control C, and right click and paste somewhere else. Okay, and then select this pattern, and let's see where it goes. And okay, right, let's set it right at the front of this pattern, and let's do the same thing in this pattern. Control C and Control V and paste. Okay, so here it is, and I'm gonna place it right behind this pattern. Okay, and I'm going to freeze this pattern as well. Right click and freeze, and now I'm gonna stitch this pattern into the freezed pattern here. Okay, so to perform that, let's stitch those edges first from here to here, right? So you should check if you get a right edges match to the other edges. Okay, right. Okay, so everything is matching into the right place. Okay, okay, what's this? I think he can stitch in here, so undo here. All right, and here and here. All right, so let me show you first if these stitches really matches to the right thing. Okay, right. Okay, so let me undo the move that I have done to the pattern, and now I think we are ready to simulate the cloth. Space tab and space tab, and that's make this pattern uh, to have some thickness on it. Okay, so now unfreeze everything again. Okay, and then let's try to simulate once more. All right, and we are done uh, creating the inner clothes of our character. Now next I'm going to create the clothes, the outer clothes of our character, and after doing that we can now simulate our character into an animation and make this code pattern follow along with animation. Okay, save. Okay, and now I forgot to create some details in here, because as you can see in our rendered image that we have a multicolor in this area. So okay, so we have here a dark blue color and a lighter something like blue or purple color here, or a pink, I think. So let's do that. So I'm gonna cut this pattern in a three pieces. So to do that so let's use this edit pattern to select these edges and right click and offset as internal line and give it a 30 millimeter distance and press OK. And with this line selected, right click on it and cut okay, and that creates a segments over here in this area. Okay, and let me repeat the same process in the other parts of this pattern. Offset 30, enter, right click, cut and sew. Okay, cut and sew. Okay, and I'm gonna simulate it once more. Simulate. Okay, and unsimulate. All right, and we are now ready to create the second set of cloud pattern, which is the red one. Okay, and I'm gonna set this aside for a while, and okay, over here, and select everything and freeze it for a while so that we can focus on editing the second set of code patterns. Okay, so I'm gonna use this polygon tool again, and let's fast forward to the point where we are going to uh, animate and simulate the clothes and make it follow to the animation. Okay, so I'm gonna just do a quick modeling here so that we can quickly proceed to that part of our tutorial. Okay, okay, so I'll just stop the at this point, and I just want to teach you something that It's very important. Okay, so as you can see that at this point I stop creating this code pattern for the sleeves of our character. So to set the exact measurement at this part, you have to get the measurement of this of these edges first, because we're going to stitch this edge into a multiple edges like this one here and in here. Okay, so to do that, let's add the dimension or the measurement of this edges. So it currently has a 147 and this one has a 146.7. Okay, so 147 147 plus point 0.7 plus 147.1 147.1 is equals to 294.8. So we should set this measurement to 294.8. Okay, so let's select these edges and move it to the right side, and you're gonna see here a measurement that we're going to adjust it to 294.8. Okay, okay, 29. Okay, I always forgot that number. 294.8. 294. Okay, that's enough. Okay, so you are just seeing a number value here uh, just earlier, and then you have just to adjust these edges and until you reach that measurement that is exactly to the 294.8 number. Okay, so let me undo this one, and that's I think that's enough, and we can now stitch that into this multiple edges. Okay, so how we can stitch a single edges into a multiple edges. Okay, so earlier we used the segment sewing here, but now for this and now for this kind of case, we have to use free sewing. Okay, and free sewing, I'm gonna show you how to use it. Okay, so I'm gonna click this one and click here and click here. Okay, and after you establish the seams at this edge, we are now ready to establish and connect it into here, from here and to here. Okay, okay, so let me undo that one. So instead of starting with these edges, I'm gonna start with these edges first. Okay, from here to here. Okay, and from this point, and it gonna give you some point guide where you can click the end at the center. Okay, okay, so you can establish a line seams just exactly at this measurement and into this center point of these edges. Okay, and now let's do the same thing in here, from here to here and here to here. Okay, all right, so let's check if these stitches are gonna match to the edges. So I think it will work fine. And now after establishing those seams, we can now simulate the cloth. Okay, simulate, and after simulating that cloth, we can perform a live drag. Okay, so let me undo that one. Control C, Control C, Control C, and let me rearrange this pattern first so that it will just fall just right into the place. Okay, I think that's enough, and we are now ready to. Okay, I'm having a hard time adjusting this thing. Okay, and simulate. Oops, uh, unsimulate. And now I can now stitch the uh, other edges here. Okay, from here to here. All right, and then simulate once more, and there you go. And if you think that the size isn't just fit to the character, you can now you can just adjust the edges here by pulling these points and give it some wider space for the hand of the character, and simulate once more. Okay, and make a live drag until it fits to the arm of the character. All right, and we are done creating the sleeve at the right side of a character. Now we can copy this one and simulate the other side for the left side of our character. Control C and Control V, and I'm gonna just put it in here. Okay, and then uh, let's with that pattern being still selected, we can reset the arrangement of this pattern into from zero. Okay, just click that one. Okay, so let me undo that again, and let me freeze these sleeves first. Right click and freeze so that it won't affect this one when we click this button. Okay, I'm gonna select this one again and reset, and let's rearrange it aligned to the arm left arm of our character, and repeat the process for the stitching. Okay, from here to here and here to here. Okay, and check if everything will gonna work well. Okay, I think that's right. And okay, I'm stitching in the wrong spot, so I'm gonna just undo that one. Right click and delete sewing. So I should supposed to establish the stitching over here and here. Okay, and I think okay, let me see if everything will go just well. Okay, okay, so I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to simulate this cloud finally, and I'm gonna delete this seam first. Okay, this one. Right click and delete the seams. Delete sewing and simulate once more. Okay, and live drag this pattern, right? Okay, and unsimulate, and let's establish. You can now establish the seams in this area, and simulate once more, and live drag. All right, and we are done creating the uh, outer cloth of our character. So I'm gonna just fix this one. Okay, so I don't know why it keeps on interpenetrating this pattern into our character. So I'm gonna just pause that video until I fix this one. Okay, so I'm having a hard time to remove that interpretation happening on the hand part of our character, but that just worked fine, I think. And unfreeze everything that we have made, except for the inner cloth, of course. And right click and freeze, right click and unfreeze, and simulate everything once more. Okay, and I think I'm gonna unfreeze the inner cloth as well. Right click and unfreeze, and let's see what it will look like when we simulate all of the things that we have done. Okay, so I'm seeing now that this all of the things that we have done here are doing well, and now we are ready for additional details for the inner clothes and the outer clothes. So we have to put here a some segments in here, and as well as here in the inner part of our character. So I'm just gonna refreeze this inner cloth freeze, and of course let's do the same thing as we did here in this pattern. Okay, all right, and now I'm gonna adjust these points so that it makes the dimension in this lower part would be more wider, as well as this other pattern. Select this one. Okay, and then simulate once more. Right. Okay, and I'm gonna give it some curved effect on this one, so maybe like this. Okay, right. Okay, and now we are ready to put some segments over here. So we have to click these segments and right click on it and give it an offset of around 30, and let's check in here, and I think it's just enough, and then we should do the same thing on the other side. 30, and then press OK, and of course at the back of this cloud pattern as well, right click and offset pattern by around 30. Okay, but it doesn't matches to the point where we should meet each other. Okay, so I'm gonna just adjust this pattern. Okay, all right, and then move it gradually, I think. Right, and then adjust the other side from here, and let's zoom in here and do the necessary thing until it matches to the points where they should meet each other. All right, I think that's good, and now we can now select this pattern, right click and cut and sew, and that creates a segments over the surface, as well as to this pattern. Right click, cut and sew, right click, cut and sew. All right, and then let's do the same thing in the inner part of the character, inner part of our cloth. So I'm gonna freeze this outer cloth first. Freeze. Okay, let me save this first. Control S. Okay, and yes, we have here Let's select that one and hold shift on your keyboard to select multiple segments. Right click and offset around 20. Okay, right click offset. Okay, undo, right click offset. I forgot to set it to 20 millimeter, and of course the other one. Right click and offset to 30 millimeter and press OK. And I'm going to hide the outer cloth first so that at we can see the behind this cloth, inner cloth. Okay, with that being selected, we can just right click in here and hide 3D pattern. Okay, and let's focus on the back side of this pattern, and it just doesn't right, so I'm gonna adjust these points in here. All right, and zoom into this so that we can have a better look at it, and I'm gonna zoom it into the 2D view as well. And okay, it should be here. Okay, and let's gonna do the cut and sew. Cut and sew. Okay, cut and sew. Cut and sew. All right, and then let's just unhide all the patterns. Right click and show all 3D patterns and unfreeze it all. Right click and unfreeze and simulate all. And then okay, let's just wait for the progress, and then that's it, and unsimulate. Okay, we are done now creating the code of our character, and I'm just gonna save this one so that I won't lose if the error happens. Okay, okay, so I decided to end this video at this point, and in part 9 we're going to simulate and animate this character and make this cloud follow along with the animation. And right after we animate this cloud inside Marvelous Designer, uh, we're going to import these cloud objects inside uh, 3D Studio Max. So see you in the next video.